The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So, Daniel Tavera had another question. He said, "Did you hear Ryan Day admitted he game planned wrong against us? Along that the Georgia game, he showed how he game planned better. With that being said, are you nervous about this year's game since they got Marvin Harrison Jr., that if they call an aggressive game like UGA, their offense can torch us? Alongside, OSU fans are talking about how they will have better play calling and that if their transfers on defense work out, we could see a similar beatdown like 2015 and 2019 at home against them. We do have to realize that if there's anyone in OSU staff that wants to beat us is Ryan Day. Since he knows he can't lose 3 in a row, does it get you nervous that if they call an aggressive game and not a conservative game like last year, we could get beat? I'm always nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't control nothing. We don't control anything. We're just fans. So, you know what I'm saying? I can sit up here and say fire Don Brown for 4 years, and they don't do it, and we get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm always nervous about any big time game. I'm always nervous about almost all of them. Honestly, I'm always over here sweating bullets. But so I'm nervous. But the thing about the way I look at it is this aggressive game plan. A lot of that don't matter because C.J. Stroud refused to run against us. He just refused to run. So whether he had a rush or escaping the pocket, trying to make something happen, he wasn't really doing that stuff against us. He did it against Georgia, though, which opens up a lot more things when you got a quarterback the play isn't over. He's trying to get outside the pocket, trying to make things happen, scrambling, getting some yards with his legs. CJ Stroud showed up like the player that he should have been all year against Georgia. So that's the big thing that made their offense look so much better is because CJ was playing like he was a dog for once and wasn't just, I'm just going to sit here. I could go get 10 yards. I'm going to sit in the pocket and look, scanning. Difficult throw, incomplete. Difficult throw, no rush. I could run, difficult throw, incomplete. So that was the big thing about the Georgia game and against us. He was in kind of a zone, running outside of the pocket when there was pressure, making things happen with his legs. So that opened up Ryan Day's offense even more. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing right there. But C.J. Stroud is gone. So we got to see how good their offensive line will be after losing a couple tackles. We got to see if Devin Brown or Kyle McCord, who's going to be the starter, and is he good? Because we've got 5 stars on the bench. That don't mean he's going to be good. And this is what I mean by that. Ohio State, same with Michigan, we can out-talent a lot of teams just handing the ball off. Quarterback can be a game manager and we going to win 80% of the games or 70. But the thing is, when you play a Penn State, when you play a Michigan, when you play maybe a Maryland, can he make those big time plays in pressure moments? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. We got to see how good these quarterbacks are before this aggressive game planning. You know what I'm saying? Because you can put up numbers against garbage teams or when there's blowouts. Let me see. All right, you in a shootout. Let me see what you can do. That pressure on now. Let's see what you can do. You on the road, pressurized moments. Let's see. So this is my worry about Ohio State is Ryan Day is going to realize, yeah, I got Marvin Harrison, but I got Travion Henderson. I got Mayan Williams. I got Hayden. I got Chip Trainum. I got a stable of backs. And seem like my offensive line, they not as good. They okay at pass blocking, but they can run that rock. Look like that's my worry is he turns whoever their quarterback is into a slight game manager, and he runs that rock down people's throats because he's got 5 backs. That's my worry, honestly. That's my worry is that he does that, or you know what I'm saying, or even becomes way more balanced. But I mean, he's been balanced. If you look at their numbers, he's a little more balanced than we give him credit for being. But I think if he decides to just really run that rock, you know what I'm saying, they could be scary if those guys are healthy and if the offensive line is that, you know what I'm saying? But the aggressive play calling, it doesn't worry me yet because I don't know how good their quarterback is. I haven't seen him any pressurized moments in college. So I know somebody going, well, he was a 5-star. I don't care. That was high school. This is a new level. You got to prove that you belong at this level and that you are great, not slightly above average, not a great thrower, but you refuse to run the ball. When the pocket collapses, you act like you scared to take hits and you scared to be a dog. So that's my question in thinking about what's going on with them. I gotta see their quarterback to understand, all right, how good really are these. Kyle McCord or Devin Brown, one of them could be a dog. Maybe both of them could be a dog. You know what I'm saying? And I know Devin Brown is mobile, so I really don't want him to start. Now you got somebody that can throw, and they say he's a dog and can run it, plus all the backs, plus the receivers. That's a big worry for me. Now, Devin Brown, he worries me. But on defense, we'll see with the transfers. This is the thing. I don't care who you get. Unless you got some NFL players, unless you got the best corner in college football, the second best corner in college football, the best safety in college football, the best strong safety in college football, some of the best linebackers in college football, that Don Brown 2.0 scheme ain't gonna work unless it's if on defense for OSU, if Jim Knowles comes out with that same scheme, leaving dudes on an island trying to blitz all the time, it ain't gonna matter who he has out there. All it's gonna take is a team with as much talent as them, and he's gonna get shredded. Think I'm lying? Penn State. Yeah, they turned it over, but he still was lighting them up. I don't care. Yeah, he turned it over. And I know somebody's gonna say, well, they got all those yards because they were turning it over. That don't mean you gonna get yards just because you turned it over. You know what I'm saying? You could just get stopped. You could keep getting stopped and having to punt. Because you get turned over, that don't automatically guarantee you finna score some points and get yards. So Penn State was lighting them up. They turned it over, but they was getting points. They were moving the ball quite often. Maryland, shred man. Maryland, baby Tua was eating them up. Maryland has a lot of talent on offense. Michigan, light him up. The Don, he's gone. Cornelius Johnson, he's got a man. Wide open. Light him up. Georgia. Now, Ohio State's offense did well against Georgia's defense. OSU's defense got lit up by Stetson Bennett. Ohio State had a 14-point lead 3 times and still lost. How does that happen? A 14-point lead 3 times and you still lose? So that's the thing. And I tried to tell OSU fans this last year or whatever. Yeah, last year. Because watched them and I said, I'm seeing Don Brown stuff. Guys on an island, a lot of blitzing. That's all in good when you playing Akron, when you playing Iowa, when you playing Michigan State with no talent on offense barely. You know what I'm saying? Or pick Minnesota. Just pick somebody. It's fine. You can out talent them with that scheme. But when you play a team that has similar talent, that wide receiver is one-on-one, and he says, "You're mine. You're done. Touchdown." He already celebrating because he knows the scheme. They've done the film work. They know it's gonna be blitzes and he's gonna be on an island. He already celebrate, getting ready to celebrate because you're toast. You ain't Deion Sanders. You ain't Darrelle Revis. You ain't Ed Reed. You ain't Sean Taylor. You toast. You toast. And your coach is he crazy for thinking you was gonna get away with it. So that's the thing. Unless he makes adjustments on their defense, the actual scheme, he gonna get lit up when he play. They gonna get lit up when they play Penn State, Maryland, Michigan. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities to exploit the defense. So he's got to change certain things and stop running that zero coverage so much. You're not going to be able to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So I got to see if Jim Knowles makes adjustments and stops blitzing so much with this Don Brown type of stuff, leaving guys on islands. And I got to see how their quarterback is. And what Brian Hartline's philosophy, or what Brian Hartline and Ryan Day's philosophy together will be for the offense. I know they're probably going to try to be more balanced. You got a stable of backs. You know what I'm saying? So, but we still got to see how good is the quarterback. Who is the quarterback? We know they loaded on wide receiver and running back. So we got to see what that whoever's the starter at quarterback, how good will he be, and how good will their offensive line be also. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm nervous always for any game, but I got to see what exactly they have going on this year. You know what I'm saying? Because a new first-time starter, it comes with a lot of, especially at Ohio State. It's not like you're becoming the starter at Michigan where you're expected to be a game manager. No, you the starter at Ohio State where you expected to be that dude. You expected to come out and throw 40 touchdowns as a freshman or sophomore or whenever you get the job. You expected to come out and have 40. That's the expectation. You're expected to be in the Heisman hopeful or conversation over the year. So I got to see exactly what they got going on before I get real nervous about them. But as far as 2019 and 2018, 2019 when they blew us out, I just don't see that happening like that. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but to me that was more of a Don Brown thing. That wasn't a Michigan roster, Michigan as a whole, as a team kind of thing. That was just, you got a bad coach on defense. His scheme isn't good enough for his scheme isn't good enough to go up against big time talent. There, I got it out. His scheme isn't good enough to go up against big time talent. Whether it's Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, it doesn't matter. His scheme ain't good enough to go up against it. He gonna get lit up. Your only hope will be a shootout. But his defense is gonna get exploited so bad, it might not matter. So that's the thing, and they're in that boat too. I mean, you can get some recruits and maybe you can get away with it more if you got the right recruits. But you putting these college dudes on islands like they're on islands consistently like their Pro Bowlers, NFL Pro Bowlers, it's going to be hard to get away with. It's just a fact. Especially when everybody knows what it is now. Now that it's the second year, you got a bunch of film of him at Ohio State running that scheme. So, it's going to be hard for him to get away with it. He's going to have to make adjustments. Or he ain't going to last that long at Ohio State. Honestly, he ain't going to last that long because you can't put your safeties and corners on islands like that. You just can't do it. Not with the schedule that they have and like we have most of the time. You're not going to be able to do it. You can get through most of the games, but when you play those big time teams, you're going to be holding your breath like, oh boy, these guys are on islands. They got a pretty good receiver. They got a fast receiver. He's gonna eat you up. KJ Hamler. I still got nightmares against Penn State. Don Brown and KJ Hamler eating him up. Because it only takes, just like when we played Ohio State, it only takes one play. One play, CJ gone, 70. One play, CJ gone again, 70. See ya. You was on an island, burnt you. So that's the thing. And that's not even to go in against the run game. You know what I'm saying? But that's just guys not in the right gap. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm not really too worried about, I'm always worried about them because their roster is always good or great. But I gotta see what they're doing this season. I gotta see if Jim Knowles has changed anything. And I gotta see who the quarterback is going to be. Is he actually that dude? You know what I'm saying? Is he that dude in the big time moments? Not against, who cares when they play in Citadel? He gonna look like he's that dude. I'm talking about big time moments. Penn State, whiteout. Penn State, close game, late third quarter. Michigan, you know what I'm saying? I gotta see Notre Dame. At Notre Dame this year. I will be watching all of that game and breaking it down, trying to see exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I got to see the quarterback in that game, how he reacts, how he does, and also the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Because, everybody thinks you can just reload. Sometimes you can't just reload, and those dudes aren't as good as the guys you replaced. As the guys that left. So that's my thoughts on it. I know I get long-winded, but, that's just how it goes. But, yeah, so it's just I got to wait and see. Does Jim Knowles make changes on defense? The quarterback, the offensive line, and the play calling styles. You know what I'm saying? But just being aggressive, I got to see what their team is like and how the new play callers, go about it. You know what I'm saying? Because their strength could be the run game. Kyle McCord or Devin Brown might not be that dude. So it could be the strength, could be the running game. So how are you being aggressive with that? Is it mostly play action? How, you know what I'm saying? I have to see before I get worried. Like, what are they doing with all this change? You know what I'm saying? Because we got a long way. We play them at the end of the season. So by that time, we'll have a bunch of film on what Brian Hartline likes to do, what Jim Knowles' changes have been. So we know, knock on wood, it's a good thing we don't play them early, so we get to see what these new changes are. What do they like to do now? Are they more balanced? Are they more run heavy now with the stable of backs? Is their quarterback that dude, or does he get flustered under pressure? You know what I'm saying? Different things like that. So I got to watch OSU a little heavier than I normally do just to see how they're looking this year and the new changes and stuff like that. Because I like to know what I'm talking about, especially with them. So, like, share, subscribe. That was a lot. I didn't say it too much. Like, share, subscribe. And as always, go blue.
It's great! 2 minutes!